like, what was shown was expected.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. What was shown was expected.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, and like, I mean, there were some trailers that, again, that we'll get into that were uber astounding to look at.
Yes.
But there wasn't anything that like floored anybody.
Yeah.
It really wasn't.
Yeah.
There was minor innovation via one game that we'll mention in a little while, but there was no big innovations.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing I did mention too, it seems that Xbox and PlayStation kind of left children's gaming, for like their age range, whether it be young to teen, preteen, or early teen, thrown to the wayside. Everything was adults, and dark, horror, sci-fi, and everything like that. And they were like, that's Nintendo's field now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that's kind of sad because, like, I really liked it when we watched a couple of years back and they first came out with Skylanders. And it was like, whether you liked it or not, you were like, hey, that's cool. Like, that's, like, really cool looking.
Yeah.
Or, when they dropped the news on Disney Infinity, which still shocks me that they didn't keep that. But, like, again, it was like, wow, that's cool. It's like, it was innovative, it was different, it was creative, and it was across all the consoles. But now, ever since then, they kind of, like, just threw all that to wayside. They said, give the market to Nintendo, which is kind of ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, gaming is for all ages, but it's just like now it's like, because even Nintendo though is kind of delving a little bit more mature, and it's like Mario stays, a couple of the games stay lower, but even Nintendo seems to be maturing a little bit.
Well, yeah, I mean, where a lot of Nintendo's things are catered towards the younger generations. Let's be real here for a second. A lot of Nintendo's titles are for the children that grew up.
Mm-hmm.
They're also for us.
Yeah.
So while they're still making games for all children, they quite literally are all ages.
Yeah.
They have to make it a little bit more mature for us that grew up with it, and for the little guys here that are currently growing up with it.
Right.
You know? They're at least appealing to both demographics.
Exactly.
So let's begin.
All right, so let's begin. We're not going to really include any release dates or anything like that. I have one release date of relevance, but other than that, I'm going to include the release dates or whatever. You can always check them out via the trailers I posted, or even Google them or something like that. Or even you can try Amazon. Sometimes the release dates are on there.
Mm-hmm.
We're just going to kind of go through a lot of the stuff that we saw. And, there was a lot. There was a lot of things we saw. Again, some of it was expected. Some of it wasn't, and then of course we're going to go into the missing in actions, and some of the disappointments where they showed something and it was just like,
wah, wah.
Like no release date or something like that. And trust me, there is one big one. You know which one I'm talking about.
Yes.
And everything like that. All right. To kick off the festivities, we're going to start with, day one was Bethesda, and we have their mixed in there. And Bethesda's conference was ruled by a lot of sequels.
Yes.
That we're going to get into in a little bit. But again, Bethesda was very, in terms of their conference, it was very one-directional. And it was just the same stuff. And it was about,
Yeah.
And things like that. And again, just fell flat. Nothing that wowed the crowd because there was a lot of sequels and everything like that, which we'll get into a little bit.
Well, on a technicality, I'm not really surprised because last year Bethesda did similar, where they showed, footage for the new Fallout. They showed footage for Wolfenstein. It seems to be
their thing.
I want to say their thing, but in the same right, they kind of have the right idea like Nintendo does, where, look, it ain't broke, I'm not fixing it.
You know what to expect.
Exactly. You guys like Fallout, here's another fucking Fallout for you. You guys love Wolfenstein, here you go.
Exactly. Well, to kick off, Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Yes.
Absolutely freaking looks amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Looks amazing. Then this year, because of a tweet sent out via cast member from the current Star Wars trilogy, character Finn, basically making a comment about story mode. What kind of a story? Well, this one has a one-player story mode.
Thank God.
That follows the TIE Fighter Squadron post the Death Star explosion, and they're pretty much out looking for revenge against the rebels and everything. They had the actors on stage talk about the game and everything like that. So it was actually pretty darn cool.
Yeah, because they said this takes place between 6 and 7.
Yeah,
anyway.
This is like right in between. Again, like they basically are on Endor. And they witness the Death Star exploding, and they're like, we must avenge the Emperor, and everything like that. But it looks great. They got the clash of eras now and everything like that because they show the stormtroopers running through the battlefield and everything like that, and then it's like it's all clear, and it's like, all of a sudden you see the dual lightsaber come spinning. It's not clear, and it's Darth Maul and everything. I was like, what?
Yes.
So you can't go wrong with a good Star Wars.
No, absolutely
game.
not. And not only that, but they learned their lesson with Battlefront 1, because the whole thing with Battlefront 1 was, yes, you buy the game, but then you also have to buy the Season Pass in order to get everything. And a lot of the things for that Season Pass weren't ready.
Yeah.
However, with Battlefront 2, you do have access to all of the add-ons that are going to be free. I don't know if through Season Pass or if you just have the game. They have not said that. However, everything that's going to be an expansion and add-on for Battlefront 2 is already finished and ready to go. So there's not going to be a long delay for you guys to have it. They'll probably pace it out so that it's not all in just one whole chunk. But to have it all ready to go definitely is going to work in favor of the gamers. Instead of sitting there waiting, going, when is this coming out? Oh, it's not finished yet. Oh, there's a delay. There's a backup. Now everything is good and ready to go for your entertainment.
Yeah, absolutely. So, get ready for Star Wars Battlefront. I believe that is coming out this year. I think that was one of the ones that's coming out this year.
It looks beautiful.
Oh, it looks gorgeous.
Oh, my God.
It absolutely looks gorgeous. It's a beautiful looking game. See, the one thing is, we do try to separate, which, I always love the premiere trailers. I do, because they're the cinematography and everything, they're absolutely gorgeous. They're beautiful. But what people always have to bear in mind is that is not gameplay.
Yes.
That's why I look more forward. Okay, I love the reveal. They're always fun. They're always awesome.
Yes.
They're beautiful to look at. But in the same, and there is a particular game I'm going to get into about that later on, and you know which one I'm talking about. I think.
Believe so.
But I'm always more interested in the next trailer, which is usually the gameplay trailer, because it's like, okay, this looks great for story or whatever you're doing, but I want to see what the game actually looks like.
Yes.
In comparison to what you're doing cinematically and everything like that.
Not only that, but so often, so many people say that it is a beautiful game once you play it, and it's like, or it's a beautiful game. Is it a good game, though?
Exactly. It's beautiful, but, is it good?
That was the thing that we heard a lot with Horizon Zero Dawn when it first launched.
It turned out to be a hit, but that was the common...
that was it. I was really interested in Horizon Zero Dawn, and upon its launch, everybody that was playing it, it's a beautiful game, it's a beautiful game, it's a beautiful game, and I'm sitting here like, okay, but is it a good game? Because it could look gorgeous, but if it's not good, I'm not quite interested in just playing something with pretty graphics and a shitty story. Like, is it a good game?
Exactly. So that... it goes into a lot. All right, well, moving forward.
Yes.
Because, again, like I said, we have a ton of games here. A ton of games. We were privy to a trailer and gameplay footage of a game that is pushing forward in co-op play, which looked really interesting, but I could also see where it's going to get kind of annoying. But the innovation, this was one of the points of innovation.
Yes.
That was really cool. It's... story RPG style game called A Way Out.
Yes.
Which involves two convicts. You play as one or the other with a friend. It's a co-op play game. And basically you're looking to do a jailbreak, and you do the jailbreak and everything like that, and your decisions affect each other. Now, unlike typical co-op play where it's kind of back and forth or online, this co-op play is, you made side by side or online. The whole entire game, with the exception of the scenes when you're together, is entirely split screen. So though you're in the scene, you see what your partner is doing the entire time. You play the entire game in this fashion, in a split screen or within the same scene. It's really cool. It's really innovative. It's definitely finally trying to push it a little forward.
Yeah.
But as we were watching, we could see how this could get a little annoying really quick. Because it turns into those fights. Keep up, whatever the case may be.
It's what happened to us with Borderlands, remember?
Yeah, and then it's your decisions and your partner's decisions affect the entire gameplay. The one cool aspect I was they were as you're playing as your character, you're going to care so much more about your character than the other person's because that's the feel it's supposed to engross you into the game. It does look cool. It looks very innovative.
No, it does.
If not for the split screen aspect or the co-op play, again, I'm not really a big co-op person. No offense to anybody. I'm just not really a big co-op player. I'm not a big MMO person. It's not really my thing. If it wasn't for that, I probably would have picked this up, but I'm definitely going to be following it and kind of seeing what a story unfolds. Probably going to be one of those things I watch YouTube just to watch the story and just see how cool it is, because it does look really, really cool. And everything like that.
Yeah, the whole RPG style of it in that the decisions affect each player, that is definitely the most innovative. Because when it comes to the split-screen co-op, again, that is something we had difficulties, David and I had with Borderlands, where we kept getting split up and we had the split screen, and my dumbass kept looking at his screen. Meanwhile, I'm lost.
Yeah, we were getting pretty confused back and forth at times.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny. All right, well, yeah, but definitely check out A Way Out if you haven't. Moving forward, of course, we were privy to, and because it's one of those annual games like 2K18, we were privy to, of course, from EA, Madden 18. Now everybody's like, okay, it's a football game.
Yes.
However,
Yes.
Madden actually EA and Madden put forward something apparently a lot of people have requested for a while, for a long time. Madden this year has included a story mode. And it's not just your typical, it's not to say they're the first to ever do it in a football game, but because the typical fashion of doing these story modes has always been like, oh, rise from the ranks of college, whatever the case may be. Like, this is an actual story.
Yes.
Like, you're playing in high school and working your way up, and there's all these pitfalls and ups and downs, and you're playing real life situations in this engrossing story while also trying to make it to the NFL. And it looked really interesting.
It did.
Really did. I remember you were even like, you know what, I'm not really into the Madden thing, but I would watch this just for the story.
Absolutely. And not for nothing, I do feel that this was a long time coming.
Absolutely.
Now, from what I've seen via my friends on Facebook, they are actually really excited about this. And you know what? I am too. I don't play football games. I'll watch them. But this is something, in a sense, almost innovative.
Yeah.
Because other than, like, your UFC games or, like, your WWE games, there have been no story modes like this in a sports video game.
Yeah.
And to take it the way they are taking it is just, I just find it absolutely innovating.
Yeah,
because you're no longer just a sports game.
Yeah, because pun intended, they're taking it off the field.
Yes.
You're playing life. You're playing everyday life, trying to make it, and WWE kind of did that in their last game, or previous game.
Yeah.
But it's still within the confines of like the NXT training and everything like that. It's not life. It's just sticking with the wrestling aspect. So this is what makes this so creative and innovative. And not for nothing, honestly, it's a I would say almost a financially smart move, because, like you said, will you pick up Madden 18? No. But somebody else might go, you know what, I'm not really into football games, but I love story games.
That's one of the comments we are just getting, actually.
Yeah, we love story games. So, someone who's into playing RPGs and story and really engrossing stories and everything like that, like I am, like I love Mass Effect because of the stories and everything like that, might actually pick it up. They might not play the games itself, they'll just play that story portion, just because that's what they want to play.
Yeah.
And it's smart. So you just opened up a very closed franchise to a much wider audience.
Yeah. Now, mind you, this is also completely optional. If you are a lover of the original Madden and see no point in the story mode, then you do not have to play it. It is not something that is necessary to play in order to play the video game. It is obviously optional.
Yeah. Oh, Jim, Alaska, he just went About Time. He's all about it, too.
See?
That's awesome. So, I mean, I'm actually excited for it. Like, this is for the first time I'm actually kind of excited for it. I might add it to the old Gamefly list and everything like that. Check it out and everything like that. Once I'm done playing. Yeah. Moving forward to another game. One that Miss Foxy... Yeah.
I see it on the list.
Vampire.
Yes. It's actually Vampire.
Vampire, with the correct spelling. The old spelling.
Yes.
With a Y.
Yes. This is a game that I've talked about for so long right now.
Oh, this is your thing?
Yes.
So go for it.
This is by Don't Nod Entertainment, most notably known for currently the Life is Strange series, which also has a sequel that I'm sure is on your list. That I will be talking about later.
Yes.
Vampire is an RPG style video game in which you are a doctor in the old Victorian era during London. Now, the catch is that while you are a doctor, you are also a vampire. And basically, it's a matter of morals. As a doctor, you have a Hippocratic oath and you have to save people, but as a vampire, you want to feed. and it comes to points where you have to decide whether or not you're going to save someone or if you're going to